Hi everyone, it's Andrew from Remote Tribe. I'm here in Fukuoka, Japan right now, where Colive 2024 is happening, and I'm rejoined by my friend Safir Jamal. How are you, Safir?
I'm doing great, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good, thanks a lot. It's great to be here in Japan. It's a very interesting event. We've got people from all over Southeast Asia. We're talking about a lot of things on digital nomadism and this traveling lifestyle. And Safir has a really interesting proposition for the nomads, and he's going to tell us more about the Global Nomad Pass.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Global Nomad Pass is a membership for rewarding digital nomads when they support local businesses. So, we partner with business owners that are from cafes, restaurants, co working spaces, co livings, but also barbershops, salons, spas, fitness studios all around the world. And we negotiate exclusive discounts with these business owners. And then we sell memberships to nomads. So, whenever the nomad buys the membership, it shows up like a wallet pass on your phone. You go around to any of our local businesses and you just show your pass, and automatically you get a discount right before you pay. So it's a great way for nomads to save money, but also for them to discover really cool local businesses, because it's always good to support local businesses whenever they're traveling to new destinations. And the businesses that we're talking about, you're not going to find these on TripAdvisor rankings, right? TripAdvisor's for tourists. We're nomads. We're not tourists. So what we do is we hire local teams in all of our destinations, and these locals are actually the ones who are curating an amazing list of hidden gem businesses. So these are where locals are going, and so it really allows nomads to discover hidden gems that they probably would have never known before. They get a discount whenever they're supporting these businesses, and the businesses are really happy because we're bringing them customers that they otherwise would have never had. These businesses are hidden gems, so you probably wouldn't have discovered them normally. So it's a nice win-win for them.
That makes sense, and I think in the context of us traveling all over the world, I think it's really good to have these passes, especially because we consume a lot. We go to gyms, we go to airports, we go to all these places. So what are you doing in Japan right now, and what kind of countries do you cover, and what's the plan?
Yeah, so here for Colive Fukuoka, right, an amazing event that the team has put on here, really highlighting the potential for Japan to be a great digital nomad destination. And both you and I have been here for the last few days. We've really enjoyed our time here, our first time in Fukuoka. So
Fukuoka is a great city, by the way.
It's a really cool city, lots of really great places to love here. And actually, Fukuoka is Global Nomad Pass's 8th destination. So we just launched here last week. We have expanded Global Nomad Pass pretty aggressively over the last few months. So we're now live in Mexico City, we're live in Bali, Bansko, Budapest, Tirana, Albania, as well as Lisbon, Fukuoka, and Antalya, Turkey. And we should be in about 15 destinations by the end of the year, close to about double that by early next year. So we're really growing quickly. And it's important to go after these destinations that nomads are already congregating in, right? So we really look at established nomad hubs, because that's where there are nomads that we really want to go and serve with our Global Nomad Pass membership, because we know that they're already there and they're spending time, they're spending money, but they're not getting the discounts, they're not supporting local businesses. So there's really kind of some great opportunity there. But there's also emerging cities that are becoming digital nomad hotspots, like Fukuoka, for example, that we think that there's a lot of potential. And so bringing Global Nomad Pass to a city like this really kind of helps support the overall ecosystem for nomads to actually come here. And when they see on their pass, they're like, oh, well, I can use my pass in all these different destinations. I can use it in Fukuoka. I haven't been to Fukuoka, but I've heard a lot of chatter about this. There's a lot of nomads that are now getting interested in this. This is a great way to actually bring nomads here.
Yeah. And talking about that, let's talk a bit about the digital nomad industry. So how does the Global Nomad Pass fit into the upcoming trends? What do you see upcoming for the digital nomad industry, the travel industry in the next, 5 years?
I think it's, first of all, great that you're even calling the digital nomads an industry, because it is. I mean, I think post-COVID, we've all really seen digital nomads are now a mainstream segment, right? I think there's talk of 35 million digital nomads. I mean, that is a very sizable market segment that is very, very rich in opportunity. And what I think is so unique is that it's a segment that didn't really exist before. And so a lot of brands never targeted this segment, didn't really know much about digital nomads, and don't really know what the unserved needs of digital nomads are. So if you don't know those unserved needs, how can you design meaningful products and services for nomads? What I've seen now is that there's a number of really awesome businesses that are built by nomads for nomads. Global Nomad Pass is certainly one of them, but you have other things like Nomad Cruise, I think, is a really good example, right? You have a lot of great insurance firms that are specialized in nomad insurance, which is very different than general travel insurance, right?
Very specific insurances, yeah.
Absolutely. You even have events, right? So there's a ton of different events that are specifically designed for nomads because nomads are looking for community, but they're also looking for a number of other things that a general event for travelers or even an entrepreneur event just wouldn't have. So we're seeing a lot more of things like this. We're even seeing things like Nomad Gossip Magazine, right? So it's a publication and a media company specifically designed for nomads. So I really think that this is an industry that we're just going to continue to see more and more businesses built, again, by nomads and for nomads. And so, you asked about what the next 5 years look like. One, I think for every nomad that is currently a nomad, there's probably about 5 or 10 aspiring nomads out there. So the market size is big, but it's probably only going to get bigger as more people continue to work remotely, continue to embrace this lifestyle, try to dip their toe in this lifestyle and become more active nomads over time. So
maybe even nomad families coming soon because we've got a lot of young parents who wanna travel and raise their kid as well, so they can do both probably.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of nomads are loving this lifestyle, but as they look at other stages of their life, they may not want to give up this lifestyle and go back to living a pre-nomad lifestyle. So how do you integrate new family priorities with your nomad pursuits? It's a great challenge, and we're just going to see more and more innovation in this space. I think what's also great is the people that are building in this space are innovators, right? Because in order to be a nomad, you have to think a little bit differently from the herd. You have to embrace different constraints, different challenges. And so you're automatically wired to look for opportunity in very different ways than if you had never been part of this lifestyle. I also think you have to be a nomad in order to understand the community aspect of this. The nomad community is really what's going to allow any type of product or service to really take off, right? And to get that type of traction, you need the community to embrace you and to love you, but you've got to be part of the community in order for that to happen. And I speak from experience here with Global Nomad Pass, we've really seen our traction come from the community because we're actively members of the community. So I think we're talking about community-oriented businesses, an expanded market segment of more nomads becoming potential consumers. And I think, again, you're just going to start to see even more innovation in this space.
Yeah. I think for me, it's definitely something that is very obvious at the moment. It's the retreats and the wellness workations and the whole vacation industry, which is booming. And that was actually predicted about 2 years ago. And we see a lot of young companies coming up and arranging all these meetups for parents, for professionals, for digital nomads, left and right. So that's definitely happening, and I think we're going to see a huge ecosystem around this new travel industry and sector that we have right now.
It's so interesting because when you look at the overall landscape of travelers, there's a ton of different traveler segments. No two travelers are the same, whether we're talking about corporate travel, whether we're talking about adventure travel. For a time there was a backpacker travel segment, and each one of these segments has very different needs. And digital nomads are absolutely a segment, and we also have very different needs, but our needs are continuously evolving. I think even if you ask digital nomads today what their needs are, 2 years ago, there are very different needs, right?
Because the standards are different now. We've got Wi-Fi almost everywhere, we've got good accommodation, so now we're up to the next thing.
It's exactly it. Like, I almost think of the concept of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Where you have various levels of the pyramid.
Nomad style, right?
Yeah. So once you've satisfied Wi-Fi, once you've satisfied community or co-living or some type of social engagement, like, what is the next level of what your need state looks like? And those are the types of products and services that the ecosystem needs, and we're going to start to see more of. We're seeing Wi-Fi continue to improve everywhere. So once connectivity as a basic function of what we need is taken care of, what else is there, right? You mentioned retreats and events. Fantastic. But it can't just be any generic event. Now you're starting to see events focused on mindfulness, like Minoma is a really good example, right? Or wellness or longevity or cooking or certain interests. And so, this is a very, very rich segment, but it is absolutely not a uniform segment, right? Within this segment, you have micro segments of different interests and different hobbies and different passions, and it's an evolving lifestyle that I think, for me, it's a beautiful attitude towards how we live life, but it's also a great business opportunity because you're constantly innovating, you're constantly changing, and you're getting real-time feedback from consumers if you are living this lifestyle yourself while you're building.
And it's a very beautiful feeling when you actually build products and services for happy people that make people even happier, or in general that services that make people life very fulfilling, and so on and so forth. So thanks a lot, Safir, for all this, and just come to Fukuoka and visit here. It's a fantastic city, and I'll see you around, Safir.
Absolutely, yeah, looking forward to it.